Yasu, guys. Here I am in Athens. I've been coming here so long now that the staff that used to be young are now middle-aged. I love it. But look, I'll do what I can. Hope you can see me in this glaring sunlight. And we've got to just dive in. So we'll be diving in first to Hunter Biden. I've had a lot of requests for Hunter Biden. Now, as most readers have been saying for 2 years, he's in a bit of trouble, and he did have a raving addiction. And so inevitably there's going to be legal issues. So let's have a look what's happening now, because there was some sort of plea deal that fell through. And what are the various charges? He's got a few. It's a felony to lie about your drug addiction buying a gun. I doubt he's the only person to have done that, but look, everyone equal before the law, la la. Few tax issues, and I think failing to register under the Foreign Agents Act when he was doing that business, I assume, with the gas company. So he's got a lot on his plate. Can't be easy for Dad. But let's have a look at Hunter Biden. Okay, come on down. Oh, dearie, 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 dearie. Look, now, any of you who have dealt with addictions yourself, or a family member, or someone that you are close to, knows what hell this is, right? So I think what's happening now, this is evaluating his situation. This is, I think, his lawyers evaluating the situation. But he's caused a lot of these problems himself. And I think if you're in the situation he's in, you've got to trust your legal team. So you've got to hope you've got ones who didn't get their legal degrees in a Cheetos packet, right? You've got to hope for that. I don't think he can see a way through right now. The end cards are a bit better, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does a bit of token jail time here. It won't be a big sentence, but he could. Everything's up in the air and everything is unsteady in Hunter's world. Okay, not marvelous. But then he gets the lovers, meaning a plea deal or some sort of reduced sentence because of the addiction or something like that. But strategies, this is the lawyers again, they're working on strategies to minimize his exposure. But I would sum it up by saying Hunter is not out of the woods on this. So not out of the woods. Oh, God. Okay. Poor old pet. Now, what I'm interested in too is the Georgia State Election Board. They're actually suing a right-wing organization who went with the stolen election crap, as so many did. But they're actually suing them for propagating this stuff. It's too little too late, in my humble opinion, as an Australian, but the wheels grind slowly, do they not? So let's have a look. The Georgia State Election Board. Georgia's proving to be really interesting, aren't they? Georgia is a state on the turn. Okay, so how's this? State Election Board is suing this group. Will they win? Will the Georgia Election Board win? Yes or no? I think they're going in. Surprisingly, I don't think they're prepared enough. This is the impulsive note. I don't think they've got all their ducks in a row. They're now starting, now the process has started. Now they're starting to go, oh, we need to do these things in a particular sequence. I don't think this is the best designed lawsuit that's ever happened. Oh, really? They'll experience some loss in this. In other words, they certainly won't get all that they want, but I think they'll clip the wings of this right-wing organisation, and there'll be financial consequences for what they did and when they did it. So it's a bit of a meh. It's mixed. They won't win everything. And the problem with these organisations is they'll change their name and disappear overnight. Now, while I'm shuffling, that Alex Jones creature, really special place in hell reserved, with his initials on the door of the inferno of purgatory. Alex Jones. Apparently the Sandy Hook families haven't got a cent, and he is driving expensive vehicles, flying in expensive planes, living the high life. What is wrong with this picture? Well, I think if nothing else, this whole process has revealed the myth of everyone is equal before the law. It's a myth. And I'm not just pointing the finger at the US here. The rich have always had a huge advantage. You get the odd Martha Stewart who did jail time and the odd one who gets sent away, the Bernie Meinhof sort of guys. But by and large, it's business as usual. It's just shocking. Okay, now we've got here, I want to ask, and it's a bit the same with Giuliani. When do they sell the houses? When do they actually confiscate their possessions? You know, possessions have more rights than people in, you know, the average capitalist world. So, will Alex Jones be made to pay eventually? Like properly pay? Or not? Alex Jones, morally found completely out on a limb, but will he have to pay the financial price really? Alex Jones, here we go. Oh, well, maybe, and maybe a bit more than he wants to, but Six of Cups, the children. I think this card is turned up to represent the children killed, who he denied were killed. How would you feel as a family member? I mean, it's unspeakable. He's hiding his money. The court is coming after it. This, I think, represents the compensation claim here with this Ace of Pentacles for the families. So my answer would be, with this card, the Seven of Pentacles, the harvest, they will receive some financial compensation. But I'm not seeing cards of destitution for Alex Jones. And this raises a bigger issue, does it not, intrepid viewers? Which is, they keep getting away with it. And it's like saying to the 3-year-old who behaves badly, if you don't behave yourself, you're not getting a birthday when you turn 10. It's all in the never, never, as we say in Australia. You know, it's all abstract. These guys are really simple knuckle draggers. They need cause and effect. And they're providing the cause and they're not getting the effect. You know, they have 5 years of ranting and raving, or 10 years or 20 years. It's not good enough, really, is it? Not good enough. So, dear ones. Okay. Now, I think we looked at McCarthy last time, but I want to have another look again at what's happening with him. Is he going to be able to survive these next few months as Speaker? I'd just like to have a look through McCarthy's eyes. What does he think he's doing? You'd think he has a plan, but you might be wrong about that. So, what does McCarthy think is going to happen? Does he think he's got the numbers? What's he up to? Oh my God, they're so ruthless. Oh, this is our card du jour. It keeps coming up. The Seven of Pentacles. Well, he is surrounded by ruthless people. You know, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and people, they have the morals of a puff adder. No disrespect to reptiles. Okay, he's surrounded by them. This will be a knockdown, drag 'em out fight. I think in a way, this is a big statement here. I think this represents the end, the death of the GOP. By the time they carry on doing what they're going to do here, it'll be not the last straw, but it'll be referred to in history as a moment when middle of the road conservative voters actually are shocked, horrified, and appalled. I'd like to think so. Karmic wheel is here. There is this sense of destiny. It's not as though they played dirty. Look at this card. It's not as though they played dirty to get into power, and once they got into power, they used that power to just implement a narrow economic thing that just profited the rich. In other words, GOP, business as usual. No, they're beyond all that. They don't know when to stop. They have no stop button. But here we go, this assessment of what's going on. And they do get this card of conciliation. So I think it'll be that thing of going to the edge. In this case, I think there will be a shutdown, I have to say, going on the record here. And then they'll pull it back from oblivion. Okay, guys, so what about you all? I want to have a look. What's happening for the collective right now? This is that weary sort of limbo time, isn't it, between elections? There's still months of this year to go. There's all of next year to go. And let's see if we can get some advice on how we should handle this experience. So, the elections here. What are the tips for viewers for handling the tensions, the frustrations, the trauma, the gaslighting that you've all been through? So, and I'm always hopeful that this viewership support each other. You guys are amazing. So how is the average thinking, caring, sentient American going to deal with the next 14 months or so? Tips for survival. Actually, that should be a reality show, shouldn't it? Being a thinking American over the last 6 years, who can survive it? It's quite a challenge. So let's have a look. Advice, for the collective. Yes, that's right, dealing with the devil. Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. Now, here's the devil card representing these truly satanic creatures, under the guise of being GOP Congress people. But just know you do not have to be chained to this devil. It feels like they got all the power. It feels like they're the ones ruining your life, and not without reason. But the chains can be taken off. This period of time requires some deep reflection, really deep reflection. We are not living through a time of business as usual. No, 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 no. Okay, it is not. Deep reflection. Reflecting on your values. This is Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles representing values. Yes, it's hold on to your money, hold on to your hat, of course. But it's important to not go down with the ship. This represents, in a way, an absolute life jacket. The majority of Americans, it may not be an immense majority, but the American people did vote in Clinton. They did vote in Obama twice. You guys have done it. If you hold on to your values, I think this is inspiring. You've got to become very adept and carry your own sword of truth wherever you can on a daily basis. Now, that doesn't mean taking on your MAGA brother-in-law and the nutcases at work and all the people who are around, but it does mean holding your truth, shining a light when you can, conserving your energy around your values, and keeping up with the good fight. This is so important. And I'm quite heartened by what is happening in Israel at the moment, I have to say, because with the modern state of Israel that has been criticized in many ways for expanding the settlement movement, of reducing the Palestinian homeland to a few square kilometers of horror, all of that. But the people of Israel now, the young things who until recently were uncritical by and large of the state, have now come out in huge numbers. I think it's week 40 or something of the protests, because Netanyahu and the others have been reducing and whittling down the Supreme Court because they're in bed with the ultra-conservatives, the same dynamic that is happening in so many places. And doctors, teachers, lawyers, soldiers refusing to serve. This is absolutely unprecedented. And what I'm fascinated by is the people on the street are reclaiming what it means to be Israeli in the modern world. And it's not just about expansionism and repression of your own people and others. They are reclaiming what this means. And so keep an eye. I recommend Haaretz newspaper for an independent view of what's going on, but people power. And this has been the layoff in Israel before the Knesset meets again. And there was a big hope by Netanyahu and others they would put through these repressive laws. The parliament would disband for 2 months, everyone would go home. No, it's growing. So people power. This is about people power. So work out what you can do to be part of the change. You can be a keyboard warrior. Find like-minded people, because all of this repression in every country rests on people not speaking with each other, of people being too exhausted, of people being too focused on their own issues. The power of the collective. I'll leave you with that thought. And as I was going to dinner last night, there was a big protest here in Athens. It wouldn't be the same coming to Athens if there wasn't a protest. I would have been vaguely disappointed. But no, there was a protest last night. So in the meantime, guys, I'll see you, and I'll leave you something I prepared earlier. the Acropolis. Now, I hope my crappy camera can do justice to this magnificence. I can't even see my screen, let alone what's on the screen. So I hope you can see a bit of Athens here and that you can see the Acropolis, the symbol for democracy and freedom. And love you guys, and I'll be in touch. Ciao, ciao.